Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for taking the time today to log into the RMG Networks webinar for Contact Centre. We have a fantastic agenda lined up for you, where we will be covering Behaviour 2.0, resolution messages, productivity, and the significant benefits our solutions have. Following this webinar, we shall be sending out a copy of the presentation, along with a recent white paper. The session will be also recorded and available for download. If you would like to ask any questions during the WebEx, then please feel free to use the webinar tools to raise your hand. At the end of this presentation, we'll be holding a Q&A session. If, however, we cannot get to all of your questions, then we will be following up via email. It would be really interesting to learn from the attendees which area of the contact centre you represent. So please could you take a few seconds to message us through the webinar tools. My name is Rosie Washbourne, working out of London head office. My position with an RMG is to understand, looking at the challenges and establishing ways in which RMG can help improve their working environments. I am really excited to be on this webinar today to discuss a subject I'm passionate about. We are going to look at just a few of the common challenges that we will have all experienced within the contact centre, and later on we will provide 3 powerful steps you can take to help overcome and evolve. So with that, I'd like to introduce you to Jason Shays, who has been instrumental in delivering an amazing amount of RMG solutions to some of the biggest household names.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedules to be with us today. We appreciate it.
Just quickly before we move on, I think it's important for those of you out there who don't know RMG, we have been providing contact centre solutions for over 34 years. Some of you may know us as Simon or Simon Dacon.
I thought it would be a good idea to start the webinar today with a look at the customer journey. Have a poor perception of customer contact centres. Often, outbound calls catch us at the wrong times, and sometimes these calls aren't even relevant to us. I recently got to hear a few call recording examples, and I have to say some of those were quite amusing and some very professional. However, some of them were very shocking. And you've probably all heard the one that went viral recently, where the man was kept on hold for about 3 hours. If not, you can Google it. But how is that even possible? It just goes to show that even today, with all the advancements in contact centre technology, we still can't get it right all the time. Ultimately, our goal is to make the customer experience the best it can ever be. Contact centres should want to retain customers and increase satisfaction. However, we all know there's many, many challenges to overcome. So let's move on and look at some of those challenges. One thing is for certain, contact centre is unique, and so too are the challenges. That said, there are some common themes and issues that are generic across most contact centres. For an example, attrition rates and staff training, or how to increase agent productivity, how to reduce costs, and how to report KPI metrics accurately for both the agents and their managers to make informed decisions to drive positive outcomes. Recently, we went out and spoke to several of our long-standing customers and asked them to tell us about their challenges, and this is what they said. It's hard to balance resource with demand and agent skills. Inbound calls are categorized either into low value or high value. A low value call could be one where the customer is just seeking information, meaning the agents need up-to-date information at their fingertips to be able to assist quickly and then move on to the next call. High value calls, customers are making payments or transactions. These need priority, which means we constantly analyse all inbound calls.
Yes, Jason, another one of my customers said, as a rule, the general public do not look favourably at the contact centre, which is problematic. Multi-skilled agents are hard to come by, and it's a huge challenge to find the right staff with the right skill set to work within a customer service environment, where you have endless telephone calls and irate customers to deal with on a daily basis.
And lastly, if we look at matching matching service to customer expectations, the new age of connectivity brings additional challenges. Contact centres need to offer their customers new ways of contacting them. This requires multi-skilled staff who can use web chat, social networking, text, telephone and email. I chose this picture because it portrays an aspirational view, and I want to talk about somebody who inspires me. One of the Branson, he was a pretty bad student. He didn't get good marks in school. He did poorly in tests, and he never ended up, giving up. He constantly uses his assertiveness to overcome challenges, which drives him to success. He's best known for developing the Virgin brand and its many spin-offs, and today he's the fourth richest person in the UK. So on the topic of Branson, about a year ago I got the opportunity to walk around an amazing contact centre, and I have to say I was blown away at the levels of engagement that they use for their staff, and they certainly deserve the Contact Centre of the Year award in 2014. As I mentioned previously, every contact centre is unique, and so too are their challenges. And whilst we cannot address every single issue, our solutions are used daily by many to overcome some of these core issues. Things like flexibility. The business is very dynamic, with lots of moves going on, which challenges the environment. Scalability and being able to increase or decrease resources as call volumes increase and decrease. Perhaps even future-proofing and the constant need to upgrade systems, which then have an impact on other systems.
Yes, and Jason, not forgetting reducing costs, looking at ways to reduce costs in whatever way possible. Improving customer service, looking at ways to self-generate and be the best of breed. Keeping staff engaged and motivated. And from an IT perspective, supporting a very fast-paced and ever-changing environment. We'll come on to what these look like later in the deck with some exciting visuals. I believe employee engagement is a massive area for focus within all contact centres. Attrition rates are very high, morale can be very low, and getting the right people with the right skill set is difficult.
Another challenge, and I think this picture kind of says it all. Staff aren't robots, they're people, and more often than not, they do their best, especially when incentivized to do so. And it's alarming to hear managers say things like, who wants to train their staff for the next employer? Or, what if we invest in our people and they leave? Well, you could look at that another way. What if you don't invest in your people and they stay?
A study by Engage for Success and Melcrum tells us these interesting facts. Only around a third of UK employees say they are actively engaged at work. 64% they have said that they have more to offer than being asked to demonstrate at work. 70% of employees don't trust their managers, and disengaged staff cost American businesses approximately $300 billion per year. Wow,
staggering figure. But we also know that engaged employees work smarter, harder and longer. Engaged employees increase customer satisfaction on average by 12%. One company found that higher engagement gave them 35% more productivity. And companies with higher employee engagement save 40% in staff turnover, and interestingly, 62% in less accidents.
Well, Jason, I think it's probably a good time for a quick poll here. If you can use the webinar tools, it would be great to have some feedback to share with everyone.
We'll just take a couple of seconds there to let people vote on the poll question before we move on.
Poll question is it easy to find multi-skilled agents in your region?
How many answers have we got? What's the
well, we're looking at slightly more Yes and no. We're at about 53% yes at the minute.
Okay, we're going to close the poll now so we can move on, and then we'll give you the answers to that in a few seconds. Okay, so let's move on and talk about how our tools can dramatically change the way we work as a whole and how we can impact agent behaviour. Gamification is a visual way to create employee engagement, a sense of competition between individuals or teams. It creates a sense of personal achievement for the agent and a general buzz within the contact centre itself. Increasingly, more and more of our customers are using these kinds of smart visualizations to create an environment that's productive. Another way we can assist, imagine how powerful it would be if you could pull together your critical real-time data, maybe from an ACD, email, chat, sales revenue information, and put that into a single application and create different views for different levels of employees across the whole business. Until now, many contact centres would display key information simply as data. During peak call times, this data might turn red or start to flash. However, in time, this information becomes wallpaper. The good news is that resolution messaging is rather than just showing advisors the same view all the time irrelevant of what's happening, resolution messages allows you to deliver specific information that drives behaviour and actions based on an event trigger. These messages can continue to play and focus attention on a specific event until it has been resolved. Resolution messages also play an important role where there are no events happening. During these times, screens might focus on delivering company news, gamification status, or even live TV. Ultimately, resolution messages help to ensure that you drive a productive behaviour through new and engaging ways. I know, Rosie, you're very passionate about this topic, so perhaps you could share a few thoughts of the importance of consolidating a view, with real-time data and visualization.
Contact centres have many disparate systems lurking around their operations. When we talk about displaying data, we are not just talking about displaying the data and information from an ACD or dialer system, such as Avaya, Cisco and Genesis. We are talking about many other different systems, whether you have web chat, email, CRM sales information. It might be systems for corporate communications, such as Yammer and other social media accounts, such as Twitter. We have the ability to bring all of your third-party systems together into a consolidated view in real time. What we say is that a visual communication solution helps corporations to display the right information at the right time to make the right decisions.
You're so right, Rosie, and if I think about some of the companies that have embraced this approach by consolidating or aggregating data and visuals into effective views, then the results just speak for themselves. Over the next couple of slides, we'll show some examples for you. However, just before we move on, let's take a quick look at some ROI figures. On screen here, you should see some examples of our customers reflecting the success of deploying intelligent visual communications.
Interesting, 11% reduction in talk time. That could be a really good thing in some environments, Jason, but I can imagine in some cases you might want your agents talking for longer, especially if it's an upsell opportunity or a customer resolution call.
Yeah, exactly, because each contact centre is unique. So I'm not going to dwell on these figures too much because they speak for themselves. But just imagine if you achieve success in just one of these areas, then that would be a massive saving to your business. Success in all 7, then it's bonus time. Pictured here, we see an extinct species, often hard to spot because they become part of the furniture in many contact centres. You'll find them clinging to walls, showing random numbers, and very few people even take notice of them. So I think we'll refer to these affectionately as 1.0.
Should we take another quick pause, Jason, for our latest poll question?
Yep. So it's a quick poll just to find out if any of you have these in your contact centres. We'll give it a few minutes just for people to vote in there. Another 5 seconds and then we'll close the poll. What are the views like there?
We've got 63% on no, 32% yes, and about 5% don't know, never noticed.
Okay, cool. Just close the poll. Okay, as we evolve and the technology around us evolves, it goes without saying that the solutions that we deploy also evolve, meaning you can go from this 1.0 to this. So on screen you should see a video playing of an enhanced wallboarding causing queue messages and some resolution messages. As you can say, this is a massive leap forward. I'll show you another example.
Again, Jason, what we're going to be able to see on the screen is an enhanced wallboard. This is showing that everything's good in the contact centre, everything's green, so why don't the available advisors take their scheduled breaks? And now we're looking at corporate communication messaging coming in.
Okay, let's move on. This example is showing a consolidated view of what's happening right now across all communication channels throughout a distributed contact centre. This can be on a canvas of your choice, either a high-end interactive touchscreen, a desktop PC, or even a smart mobile device. The key feature of the executive dashboard is that it's interactive, allowing for users to drill down into different locations to take a closer look at what's happening in real time across different areas of your business. As with all of our applications, an executive dashboard can include threshold alerts or threshold content changes to draw the viewer's attention to an event as it's happening. Having all this information inside a single view allows executives or managers to respond to an event as it's happening without monitoring many disparate or complex reports that aren't dynamic. Implementing enhanced visuals gives our customers the tools to be able to drive productivity gains and efficiencies.
Well, as you can see just coming up on the screen here, this is our desktop application, which is completely customizable in design and built to suit your business requirements and brand.
They deliver the same mix of intelligent real-time data and engaging content straight to the desktop, ensuring that you provide the right view to the right person at the right time. The agent application sits right on the positioned any always on top or pop to top to ensure that key messages and data are never missed. As with wallboards, the application is capable of taking multiple strands of data, not just from the ACD, but also from workforce management systems, ticketing, or any number of other sources. This data is then aggregated into a single portal of information. For managers, this application provides the correct tools to manage agent performance and improve productivity, all in real time, which we all know leads to improved customer experience.
Okay, let's summarise the webinar and put what we know into 3 key steps. To stay ahead of the game, your communication strategy needs to evolve. If you're still at behaviour 1.0 and not using engaging visuals, then that behaviour 2.0 will bring to your company by engaging your staff and increasing productivity. Resolution messaging, gamification, and a mix of other content will change behaviours and drive an ROI.
Don't drive looking in the rearview mirror. Use real-time data to enhance visualizations in engaging ways for your business. Consolidate views with platform integration. Direct agents so they focus on what's important right now with the resolution messaging. Use real-time visualized data to understand where you are against your KPIs. Use real-time visualized data to help reach your goals for the day.
And lastly, retain and gain. From increased employee morale, invest in your staff and give them the tools to enable them to succeed. Engaged employees work harder, smarter and longer and have more to give than non-engaged staff who can take time off in sick days. Positive behaviour increases your customer satisfaction level and potential for an upsell or cross-sell within your contact centre.
Well, thank you everyone for joining, and hopefully you found that insightful, and perhaps Rosie and I gave you some thought-provoking questions. So we've got some time now just to answer a few questions. So if you can use the webinar tools just to kind of poll in your questions, we'll go through some of those.
Yeah, Jason, I just want to add here as well, we can show all of this and more at our showcase in London, and we'd certainly recommend to all of you to come and visit us.
Yeah, that's a good point actually. So, wow, we've got quite a few questions coming in. Let's just pull out the first one. First one, we have old LED wall boards. Can you tell what's involved in upgrading them? Do you want to answer that one, Rosie?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Great question, Jason. Well, I'd probably say every contact centre is different, and we need to we scope any project, correct person. I'll be in touch after the webinar.
Okay, cool. Next question is, does your desktop application use the whole screen? Our agents use other applications, so how does it work with them? Yeah, good point. No, the application doesn't take up the whole screen. It's bespoke to your requirements. We brand it the way you want. It can be made to be resident all the time, or it can be made just to be minimized and only pop up when there's a trigger. So again, I think if you're interested in the InView desktop application, certainly reach out to us and we'll give you some more information. Another question, our ACD is really old, can you work with that? Rosie?
Well, in short, Jason, I'd say yes. However, I'd certainly want to get our pre-sales team involved again to ensure that we scope any project correctly. So for this person, again, we'll be in contact after the webinar.
Okay. I'm just conscious we got quite a lot of. I think probably what we're going to have to do is get back to the rest of you offline, because I'm conscious we don't want to take up too much of your time today. And as Rosie mentioned, that today's session has been recorded, so we will be following up with a white paper and a copy of the recording. And by all means, please reach out to us and let us know if you've got any further questions. Okay. Thank you
so much. Thank you.